I'm Prophet Ron Dwayne Whitfield, recording on Thursday, February 27, 2020. Want to make a video or create a video making a phone call to the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit in Louisiana. Put this on pause.
States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Main menu. If you know the extension of the party you are trying to reach, enter it now. Otherwise, choose from the following options. For questions regarding attorney renewals or to request a press 1. To be routed to the ECF help desk, press 2. For case status, filing deadline, or other case-specific information, press 3. For questions regarding oral argument or calendaring, press 4. For questions regarding the record on appeal, press 5. For information about judicial misconduct petitions, press 6. For information about CJA vouchers, press 7. For court information, including business hours, court address, court rules, procedures, or guidelines, visit our website at www.ca5.uscourts.gov. Press 9 to repeat this menu or hold to be connected to the receptionist. Wait while I transfer your call. Sorry, window file. Recording of the episode. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Yes, I'm Ronald Dwayne Whitfield. I called the main number. Maybe someone is busy, so I'll just call back. Thank you.
You have reached the clerk's office for the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Main menu. If you know the 4-digit extension of the party you are trying to reach, enter it now. Otherwise, choose from the following options. For questions regarding attorney admissions, renewals, or to request a certificate of good standing, press 1. To be routed to the ECF help desk, press 2. For case status, filing deadline, or other case-specific information, press 3. For questions regarding oral argument or calendaring, press 4. For questions regarding the record on appeal, press 5. For information about judicial misconduct petitions, press 6. For information about CJA vouchers, press 7. For court information, including business hours, court address, court rules, procedures, or guidelines, visit our website at www.ca5.uscourts.gov. Press 9 to repeat this or hold to be connected to the receptionist. Wait while I transfer your call. Good afternoon, Court of Appeals. Can I direct your call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Before I go there, my name is Ronald Dwayne Whitfield. My wife's name is Brandy Brene Charles. The docket number for the case for which this call is concerned is 19-20292. And Miss Tardy is the case manager. I've called her and left her a number of messages, but she has yet to return any of the calls.
Okay, 19-20292, you said? 20292?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's probably going to be Claudia. Claudia doesn't work on that team.
Okay. Okay, no longer Miss Tardy?
Claudia doesn't work on that team at all, and has not worked on that team. So I'm not sure who you I don't know who your person was, sir, but Claudia does not work on that team.
No, I said Miss Tardy.
Oh, Tardy. I'm so sorry. I thought you said Claudia. Okay, yeah. Okay, did you want to speak to her?
Well, I called her. I've been calling her, but she never has been returning our calls. And so I guess I might need to speak with a supervisor. Here's the thing. I mailed in, certified mail, a motion to reinstate the appeal. It's been, but documents, the brief in support of it has been removed from the motion itself. And therefore, there's no basis for a judge or the court to grant it. And I don't know why anyone would remove the brief to support it. And like I said, Ms. Tardy is not returning our calls. And lastly, there's a letter I see online that's saying that it's still something not correct about we haven't did a compliance, and I don't know what Ms. Tardy is talking about. All we were supposed to do is file a motion to reinstate the appeal. There's no parties in the court below nor on appeal. There was no parties. The state of Texas nor anyone else filed an answer, so there was no other parties other than my wife and myself. So I just don't know what we filed a motion in the past to reinstate appeal, and it was reinstated, and so I just don't know what. But the bottom line, she's not returning our calls, and yes, she says there's a 14-day deadline to comply, and then documents, the brief in support of our motion for appointment of counsel pro bono they're missing. So that's what I'm moreover concerned with. Ma'am?
Just give me a second, sir.
Okay.
The letter says that so I'm not sure what's happening with this phone, but I'm getting feedback. I can't.
I'm sorry.
I'm able to talk because I'm getting feedback on every word I say.
Oh, okay. Well, let me correct that. Just a sec. Okay, is this better? Is this better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, but that's like, I hear what you're saying, but telling me I don't have a certificate of compliance is like, for me, not to tell me anything. I mean, if she could be a little more specific, that would help. But I tell you what, I'll just Google or do a quick Google research, and that should tell me, because she did cite the rule number, so that should be able to help me. But as far as the documents, the brief is missing in support of my motion for appointment of counsel. And so one document is a motion to reinstate, a motion to expedite the appeal, and a motion for appointment of pro bono counsel. And to justify the appointment, which is in the brief, and the brief is gone.
What I can suggest is if you want to just put your comments and questions in writing, because I don't really know what else to say. I think there's a letter there, so that's what you can have done. You know, if you want to put your comments in writing, I would suggest maybe do that.
Yes, ma'am. And not only will I go ahead and put it in writing, would you send me back to her to her Miss Tardy? And if she doesn't pick up, okay, thank you.
Yeah, hold on.
All right.
The tone when you are finished, stop. Pound for more options.
Okay, hello, Miss Tardy. This is Ronald Dwayne Whitfield, Brandy Brene Charles Whitfield. I'm calling you. I just spoke with a member of the clerk's office. So the purpose for my call is I'd like for you to call me back, but to the extent that your letter cites the Fifth Circuit rules that the certificate of compliance, that's fine. I'm able to Google that and send that in tomorrow by certified mail. But as I just said, Ms. Tardy, let me please be very clear, because I'm having to record the call to justify and I would like the judges to, and I'll put that in writing too. This is just the way I am, because I learned from judges on this court and other judges, and this is probably the way the late Judge Marvin O. Teague would do it if he was Marvin O. Teague was familiar with Shakespeare and the Bible as well as I am. So if you know the Bible story about a man named Lot, this involves where Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed. Now, Lot's daughters got him drunk and they had sex with their father. Note, Miss Tardy, that God had nothing to say about that. Because, the word because is not correct to say. The fact that God was so angry and destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for their sins, but what about Lot's daughters getting their father drunk to have sex with him so that they could preserve their heritage, and God allowed that to happen? So can you see how they were justified in what they did? So in the same way, Miss Tardy, when a person files a motion, you have to support that motion. You just can't say, we move the court to appoint us an attorney. We have to justify why would the court appoint us an attorney, although pro bono attorneys are not, they don't cost the taxpayer, the public, but I have to meet the criteria, and that's what my brief does, and yet it was removed from the document. And for someone to, like, for example, they were saying that for Nancy Pelosi to tell President Donald Trump's speech, the original that he personally delivered to her, commits a crime. So she committed a crime. It is a crime for someone to remove documents that have been lawfully deposited with the clerk of the court office. Those documents wouldn't just put there for decoration. I intentionally, knowingly, willingly put those. That's my brief. When the judges of this court read that, they will see that my parental rights have not been terminated. They will see that that was fraud upon the court. For example, how can someone comply with an order that does not exist? And you have to back up. For example, when a person in Texas files an application for writ of habeas corpus, routinely the respondent, the so-called state of Texas, which is not the state of Texas, it's the office of the Harris County District Attorney's Office, will file an answer saying Whitfield has failed. In other words, concluding to be entitled to relief on an application for a writ of habeas corpus, applicant must allege facts which are, if true, will entitle him or her to relief. In order for this court to grant my motion for appointment of pro bono counsel, we must show we are entitled to what we're asking for. So when the judges of this court see that we are supposed to be terminated, or at least Brand is supposed to be terminated because we didn't comply with an order, when the state court records show that this permanency hearing was never held. So how can we fail to have complied with an order that does not exist? So when the judges of this court see that, not only will they grant us an attorney, but they will also order this case immediately remanded.
You are approaching the maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
they will immediately order this case returned to the lower court with an instruction to order the state of Texas to return our baby. While and then the other claims can go forward. So I'm just saying, when I'm doing this, ma'am, I've been doing this since 1993.
You've reached the maximum length for a recording. To send this message, press pound or hang up. To play it, 3. To re-record it, your message has been sent. If you would like to try an extension, you may do so now.
Okay, so people, what I was saying to Miss Tardy, she's the case manager in this case, which is go online, people. They'll put it up, and I want you to eventually put it up. I want the world to see that in Ronald Dwayne Whitfield and Brandy Brene Charles Whitfield versus Texas Children Memorial Hermann Hospital in the medical center, among the governor of the state of Texas all the way down to Child Protective Services. They have an order for April 5th of 2018 where they are saying that a permanency hearing had been held and that the trial judge where the Texas Child Protective Service submitted to the court what is called a permanency report, and rather than asking the court, let's move forward with terminating our parents' rights, that they moved that we be given more time to complete classes and programs. And the court, this according to this fake order, having found everything and found that and found this, adopted by reference and incorporated the service report and service plan, and say this is the actions which the parents must do in order to get the return of their child. So, in this case, is set for order of dismissal on May 14, 2018. And yet, on April 12, 2008, so in other words, we supposed from April 5th, 2018, we supposed to be going to school, me and Brandon, classes, so we can learn how to be better. See, they didn't terminate us for any child abuse. They see that there was none because I had videos. So they're going to somehow say that, well, you're going to have to comply with this order to get your baby back. Never mind, the court never had jurisdiction. Never mind that there's no child abuse. You got to still comply with this court order. And yet, no such hearing was held. And the reason why no such hearing was held is that Brandy's attorney, who had been forced upon her against her will, had an operation on April 4, 2018, the day before, and therefore the prosecutor working for CPS and the county attorney asked the court to reschedule the hearing. Okay, we'll come back on April 12, 2018. We come back for this permanency hearing. All these lawyers out here know what I'm talking about. And yet, there's not going to be a permanency hearing. We're going to go ahead and terminate y'all. You can't do that. Well, we know this, but you don't supposed to know this. So we're going to do it even because we think you don't know this. So when the judges of the Fifth Circuit see that Brandy could not have failed to comply with a service plan, which is incorporated into an order where the judge is ordering her to comply and go to class and complete these classes, and if you do, you'll get your baby back, and if you don't, then we'll proceed on to terminate you, and yet no such order exists, in fact. So how do you prove that? The court reporter. The court reporter is an official of the state. She's a court reporter. She typed down everything that took place. The court reporter's record, which is in the file, which is what the Fifth Circuit judges will see, shows that the hearing was continued, reset. We not only get our baby back immediately, it's over with. It's over with. But also, people got to go to jail. For someone to take these documents out, that's saying that someone's trying to cover up what's going on here. So my call was justified. And we get our baby back. We don't have to keep going through this as if somebody's setting up for plotting to have me murdered or make it appear that I accidentally come up dead or whatever. So that's what I'm concerned about, and that's what I want the world to understand. So you see I'm calling, I'm making it very clear. And as for me, people, like these, the information online will explain to you, and it's frustrating that people still seem like they don't get it. In Texas, Google it. How many fathers does the state of Texas recognize? The state of Texas recognizes that there are 5 fathers. One is called the legal father, the presumed father. The other one is called the acknowledged father. The third is called the adjudicated father. The fourth is called the alleged father. And the fifth is called the unknown. 2 of these have no parental rights at all. The other 3 have legal rights. They are parents. I am not only my child's legal father. So when you think of legal father, for example, think of where you might adopt a child. Although that's not your blood child, can you see how that is your legal child? You have legal rights. Although this child has a biological father. By the state of Texas going to my mother, getting her DNA, because I wouldn't give them anything because I was never served by a constable or nor a sheriff, deputy, nor anyone else. Therefore, the court never had jurisdiction over my person. I'm not a party to them, but they thought I was a damn fool. You must serve me. And I'm letting them know. I'm telling the FBI. The FBI telling me, okay, I'm telling the FBI, the video from the court camera, security camera, gonna show that the clerk run out into the hallway and gave me the papers. The clerk cannot serve me. The clerk is not authorized by law to serve me. And then the Supreme Court of Texas already, the fact that a person may be aware of a case pending against that person, due process required that person be served. So I'm telling the judge, y'all, it's already on YouTube. I got the audio. I'm telling this judge I ain't been served. And he even renders an order admitting that I had not been served. That should have ended it right there. Prince said in 1985 in a song called Pop Life, show me a boy who stays in school and I'll show you a boy aware. I'm not the damn fool that Texas wanted me to be. So in my case, they gonna say that they couldn't find Brandy and my marriage license, and therefore my child is a bastard. That is, he does not have a father. He does not have a father. Instead, he is a bastard. Tell me they could not find our marriage license. Of course you could not find it. You know why? Because it was never lost. You cannot find something that is not lost. All you had to do is ask me for it. In fact, all you had to do is go over to the county clerk's office. Hey, we want a certified copy of the marriage license of Brandy Brene Charles and Ronald Dwayne Whitfield. Brandy Brene Charles Whitfield and Ronald Dwayne Whitfield. And we also want a certified copy or duplicate of the birth certificate of Kaylin Lee Whitfield. The fact that my name is on the birth certificate already told you who his father was. A person in the state of Texas, if you are not the legal father, your name will not be put on the birth certificate. Therefore, they will arrest all of them because they have committed fraud upon the court. And even the FBI admits this much, and they, seem like they don't even understand the law. But there's a video of me talking to a special agent in charge in the FBI in 2018. So the FBI knows a lot about criminal law when they want to. Title 18, United States Code, Section 241, caption conspiracy. And Title 18, United States Code, Section 242, called deprivation of rights, says that a person commits a crime if the person intentionally or knowingly or willfully violates any right recognized by or secured by the Constitution of the United States or her statutory laws. The Supreme Court of the United States already recognized some of the rights parents have. You cannot intention people. It is a crime for prison officials to make false statements against an inmate in a disciplinary proceeding. You can't go in there and just write up a false report like they did all this stuff on President Trump, right? Making these false statements. That's a crime. When you are a public official, they thought I was a damn fool. Prince said, show me a boy who stays in school, and I'll show you a boy aware. So in my case, the records that I attached to my brief shows the state trial judge going off on the prosecutor. She said, Your Honor, we would move that Ronald Dwayne Whitfield be adjudicated as the presumed father and terminate. Why would I do that? He went immediately up. Well, mom and dad was married 2 months before. I haven't heard it. He just started going off on him. And when he got through, okay, I get it. I get it. So, Your Honor, we moved that he be terminated as an alleged father. An alleged father is not a parent. An alleged father has no rights. Any man in the world can be a person's father. That's what an alleged father is. Any man in the United States can be an alleged father. DNA, excuse me. But there are three other ways to establish. But okay, so in my case, because Brandon and I were married before our child was born, he was born into wedlock. He automatically, by operation of law, has a legal father. But the presumed or legal father may not always be the child's biological or natural father. So had they served me, then I would have gave them DNA. They had a constable to come over. They had the sheriff trying to get my. I said, come on, man, we finna tear up this whole ass jail. You ain't finna get nothing. I explained to the sheriff, I said, they had not served me, so I'm not a party to that. That court has no jurisdiction over my person. He cannot order, the judge cannot order you all to get my DNA when I've never been served. So the sheriff came back one more time. I told him the same thing. The sheriff went on about his business, never bothered me anymore about DNA. So they went to my mother and got her DNA, and on the docket sheet, which we got all over the world, in case they try to be evil, shows that the DNA shows that the paternal grandmother and Caden have a biological connection. You don't need no doggone DNA when a man is married to a child's mother before the child was born. It don't matter. All you learn from that is that that's my blood child. But it's a lot of black men, especially black men, get a lot of black women pregnant, but they are not a parent. Just because you are a father, that does not mean that you are a parent. I'm letting them know, hey, I'm a parent. I'm raising. When I saw Caden coming out the womb, I saw all that black stuff. I got scared. I didn't know he could come out with a head full of hair. I've been teaching my child from the day he came out the womb. Been teaching him. So I don't know what the hell. So look, people. So I need y'all help. Because I've been telling him, I don't want to look. That's what's going on here. They thought they was dealing with a damn fool. My rights have not been terminated. They never even tried. When they saw the videos, they backed away from all this lying, the false report of child abuse. So now they just try. See, he need me to be because look, people get it. Because Judge Phillips saw that was a false report of child abuse. They don't have a legal basis for terminating me based upon physical child abuse. So by claiming that I am not Caden's legal father, saying that Caden does not have a father, but that he has an alleged father, that means any man in the world, he can terminate the alleged father for failing to register his name with the Texas Vital Statistic Unit of the Texas Department of Family and Human Services. You see the evil game they playing? Saying again, I'm going to end this video. This is what their evil strategy was. Plot was, conspiracy was, to claim that my child did not, and does not have a legal father. Whoever his biological father is, they don't know who he is. They don't know who he is. Nobody came forward and registered their name as being Caden's possible father. Had someone came, so in other words, here's another example. Suppose I was in prison and they granted me parole and told me that when you get released, you got to go register as a sex offender. So I get out. This is not true now. I don't want them to. So a man, I'm going to take a DP, splice the video. So they got this man going to register as a sex offender, although he has not been convicted of, charged with. He has neither been convicted of, he has neither been charged with, nor convicted of being a sex offender. But the Judge Phillips is telling this man that if you, because this man failed to register as a sex offender, he's terminating this man's parental rights. But nobody's going to allow him to register as a sex offender because he's never been charged with and convicted of. So they laughing at him, tell him he needs to get off the premises. And if you don't leave, we're going to call the police. We done told you, you cannot register. Well, the judge going to terminate my baby to my right, the rights to my baby. Well, mister, I don't know. You need to get you an attorney or something, but it's nothing else we can do to help you. Bye.